Look at Eminem's life. Eminem's been sheltered his whole life with security. So Eminem probably got mad anxiety. He probably can't be by himself and walk through a mall. Of course, I'm sure he would get mobbed, but just feeling safe. Like his whole life he's been
This is in Boston or something like that. How did everybody feel about that?
Nobody paid attention to that.
Right.
Eminem did not grow up gangster, and Eminem knows that.
Eminem has reignited one of hip-hop's longest-running feuds, and Benzino is once again in the crossfire. During a surprise freestyle drop, Slim Shady aimed his sharpest bars directly at the former Source magazine boss, reviving a beef many thought was long dead. The lyrics weren't subtle. Eminem referenced Benzino's failed career, his long history of industry controversies, and even mocked his repeated attempts to stay relevant through online rants. The shots quickly set social media ablaze, with fans calling it a throwback slaughter, reminiscent of Shady's early 2000s battle energy.
In the shower, what the fuck does he want me to do, man?
All right,
That's
sir.
crazy, man. So we'll leave it. Okay.
Is there anything else in this room?
There's somebody else in the shower. You want to go talk to him?
Okay. Now, damn it, if we was white, it never would have happened. We know this. Right. If we was white, would have you knocked on the door like that? I need that. If he was white, you wouldn't be doing this. If he was white, you can best believe none of this would be happening. This wouldn't be happening at all. If we was a white couple, John and Bill Summerfield, this would not be happening. If we was a white couple, John and Bill, we all know what they take, but no matter what we're wearing, no matter who's our partner. So, John and...
Many noted that while Benzino has taken countless jabs at Eminem over the years, this time the Detroit legend didn't hold back, choosing to remind the rap world that some grudges never truly fade. Benzino, never one to stay quiet, fired back almost immediately with a fiery Instagram live, accusing Eminem of being obsessed with him and calling the diss a desperate attempt to stay relevant. But hip-hop fans weren't buying it. Memes flooded timelines comparing the two rappers' legacies, with most agreeing the battle was already one-sided. For Eminem, this wasn't just a diss, it was a statement. By reopening the beef, he's showing he can still command attention and dismantle his rivals at will. And if Benzino dares to respond musically, fans are already predicting another lyrical execution. Eminem, rap's own Elvis figure. It's 2025, and Benzino is still relentlessly banging the same tired drum, desperately trying to bait Eminem into a response that will likely never come. Eminem hasn't uttered a single word about him since Doomsday Part 2, yet that hasn't stopped Benzino from running his mouth like it's still the early 2000s. This time, he's claiming Eminem used him for clout, insisting their old beef gave M street credibility, and painted him as controversial, raw, and authentic.
Look at Eminem's life. Eminem's been sheltered his whole life with security. So Eminem probably got mad anxiety. He probably can't be by himself and walk through a mall. You can catch me at the most craziest gas station in any hood in America. If you're like, that you, Zeno? Somebody, yo, let me get that picture. Yeah.
Sure, that feud sparked headlines back in the day, but the reality is undeniable. Eminem cooked up the formula, buried Benzino with nail in the coffin, released 8 Mile, grabbed an Oscar, and went on to dominate the entire 2000s rap scene. Meanwhile, Benzino lost the source, lost cultural relevance, and lost the streets, yet somehow still believes he's the main character in this narrative. And while Eminem remains silent, unbothered, and ice cold, ignoring every jab tossed his way, one person couldn't resist stepping in, his loyal ally, 50 Cent. 50 slid directly onto Instagram, roasting Benzino for the entire world to see. Now the two are trading shots online, while Eminem is likely somewhere quietly writing, untouched by the noise, his silence becoming its own form of brutal dismissal. That's just the beginning. Let's break down exactly what Benzino said, how 50 Cent flipped it into a viral circus, and why Eminem's silence might actually be the most savage response of them all. Recently, Benzino dropped a so-called freestyle, and the internet wasted no time mocking it. Critics joked it wasn't just weak, it sounded like the hottest track in the senior citizen community playlist. And of course, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson was never gonna let that one slide. 50 jumped on his X account, posted a clip of Benzino's track, and hit it with one of the most brutal captions yet. Yo, this is the worst thing I've heard all year. What's wrong with him? He's 60 years old, bro. Nah, this ain't it. That sting alone had the entire comment section in tears, memes flying everywhere. But Benzino, he took the bait instantly. Instead of brushing it off, he fired back, throwing shade at 50's ex, Daphne, over her alleged connections with Diddy. Then, as if that wasn't enough, he had the nerve to challenge 50 Cent to a boxing match, doubling down on the chaos with reckless confidence. Benzino clearly woke up ready for war, but here's the thing. When it comes to 50, there's always more at play than just comedy. If you're wondering why he even bothers roasting Benzino, the answer is simple: loyalty. One thing about 50 Cent is that he rides for his people until the wheels completely fall off. Sitting firmly at the very top of that loyalty list is Eminem, the man who gave him a chance when the industry had written him off as damaged goods, a gamble that reshaped hip-hop history. Back in the early 2000s, when Benzino tried coming for Eminem, he unknowingly stamped himself as a permanent enemy in 50's book.
I ate his up. I cooked him. Now, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day, he cooked me. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. But what you stands is not gonna do it. What you saltines ain't gonna do is try to come here and be like, I didn't affect him. Stop it. Because that shows that y'all ain't real hip.
Fast forward over 2 decades later, Zeno is still at it, stirring the pot by calling Eminem sheltered and mocking him for allegedly only stepping outside when surrounded by heavy security. Meanwhile, Benzino brags that he can walk anywhere solo without an issue. Sure, Benzino might be right about one thing: Eminem never came up as a gangster. But here's the key: Eminem has never once claimed that he did. So Benzino's whole argument is basically shooting blanks, and here's where it really gets messy. Benzino is out here taking fresh shots at Eminem like this is brand new beef. But rewind just 1 year, on Drink Champs, this same man was literally in tears, choking up while talking about Eminem. Not only that, he was openly begging, yes, begging for M to meet him face to face so they could finally squash everything for good. Fast forward to today, and Benzino has gone right back to the same tired routine, trolling both Eminem and 50 Cent like the last 20 years never happened. But to really understand why this feud refuses to die, we have to rewind all the way back to 2002. That year, Eminem had just dropped his 4th studio album, The Eminem Show, a cultural juggernaut that shattered records and dominated charts. The Source magazine slapped it with a 4 mic rating out of 5. Eminem, feeling it deserved a flawless score, took the move as a major insult. He started throwing sharp shots at the Source and its co-founder, none other than Benzino himself. M was convinced the rating had nothing to do with music and everything to do with race. He believed Benzino simply couldn't stomach the idea of a white rapper sitting at the very top of hip-hop culture. That's when the gloves officially came off. Benzino fired back, labeling Eminem a culture vulture and the 2003 version of Vanilla Ice. Then came his infamous diss track, Pull Your Skirt Up, where Zeno went all in, claiming Eminem's skin color, not his talent, was the sole reason for his global fame and industry dominance. Rap in 5 shades darker, you be cannabis and no one would care about your complicated rhyme style. What you know about pumping on the block until you freeze. What you know about cutting up rocks while dodging detectives. What you know about facing a grand jury indictment. As far as I'm concerned, you're nothing more than industry excitement.
Let me tell you, his fans, bro, his fans like him because he's white. They don't fuck with us. Let me try to make
Fuck Eminem. I dusted Eminem. Rap Elvis, bitch. Yeah.
Okay.
That was Benzino firing his hardest shots. Later, though, he tried to clean things up, at least a little. Speaking to MTV, Benzino claimed he didn't actually have beef with Eminem personally, but rather with the machine behind him and what he called a glaring double standard in hip-hop. According to Benzino, media outlets treated Eminem like some kind of savior, crowning him #1 while ignoring the very architects who built the culture from the ground up. In his words, Eminem is just the hood ornament for the machine. He added, "You think I could grab my crotch and put my backside in people's faces the way he does? No way. But because of the color of his skin and his eyes fitting what America wants, it's all right." And to twist the knife further on his diss, Pull Your Skirt Up, Benzino accused Eminem of running to his manager, Paul Rosenberg, and begging him to handle the beef for him. But Eminem didn't just deny the claim, he came back swinging. Not with one, not two, but 4 brutal diss tracks, all aimed directly at Benzino's neck. Benzino, refusing to bow out, dropped DA another day. This time he tried to get extra messy, including a recorded phone call between himself and Rosenberg, hoping to prove his point. But Benzino didn't just keep his shots on wax, he escalated even further. Benzino crossed a line that had everybody talking. He didn't just take a passing shot, he went straight for Eminem's daughter, Haley. On his track Die Another Day, he dropped one of the most disturbing lines of the entire feud, rapping, "Tell Haley it ain't safe no more. Daddy better watch your back at the candy store. You messed up, resort to plan B. Mess around and she end up like JonBenet Ramsey." For those unfamiliar, JonBenet Ramsey was a young American beauty queen, whose tragic death at only 6 years old remains one of the most infamous cases in US history. Comparing Haley to that case was beyond disrespect. It was chilling, disturbing, and immediately set the industry on fire. When the backlash hit, Benzino didn't backpedal. Instead, he doubled down, claiming he was simply giving Eminem a taste of his own medicine. His defense was that Eminem had previously mentioned Benzino's son Ray in a diss. On the sauce, Eminem rapped, "Here's a poster of Ray and his dad. You want to talk about something you don't know about? Yeah, let's talk about how you're putting your own son out there to try to eat off him because you missed your boat."
Against Eminem. Got nothing against Eminem. Eminem can rap, but I care about us more. I don't want to go through. I don't want to talk about it no more. I don't want. For 22 years, every time I do an interview, they ask me about Eminem. The fuck you want me to do? Come on, man. My daughter came into the industry figuring that, hey, I gotta be cool with Eminem because everybody's against my dad. You think this shit is fucking cool? Nah, man. We're failing as a people. I don't hate Eminem. I don't know him to hate him. I don't hate white people. Tired of this shit, man. It's just too much. I don't want to be the bad guy. I got an 8-year-old son that I dropped off at school this morning. Come on, man. Come on, man. I'm all right. I don't want my DMs filled with, I've had 9 pages knocked down, 1 million. White people think, I love all people. Come on, man. All me and Eminem got to do is sit down and talk with each other. Let's sit down and talk. Let's battle. Let's do whatever. But let's at least face to face meet each other.
If that was to happen, would you give him a 5?
Fuck it, man. I'd hug him.
Yes, it's true. Eminem mentioned Benzino's son first, but here's the undeniable difference. Eminem never threatened Ray's life. He called out Benzino's parenting, accusing him of exploiting his child for attention and clout. For example, Benzino even released a track called Shine Like My Son, featuring a then 7-year-old Ray. That's worlds away from what Benzino did, flat out threatening Haley when she was only 7 years old. Still, Benzino refused to back down. In a fiery MTV interview, he doubled down on his mission, claiming it was his duty to expose what he saw as a racial double standard in hip-hop. According to him, Eminem received a free pass to make songs Black and Latino artists could never release without heavy consequences. Benzino argued that Eminem could rap openly about his pain, killing his mother, beating his partner, drug use, while others were forced into different lanes. Benzino explained, "We have to rock the party to get spins and burn on the radio. We have to entertain more than expose our true issues. When Black and Latino people try to put our pain in the music, it doesn't get burned. The machine doesn't want our pain out there." Years later, in 2012, Benzino admitted regret. In an interview with Global Grind TV, he said he was sorry for the things he said about Haley, but by then, the damage to his reputation was permanent. The feud between Eminem and Benzino had already gone beyond repair, cementing one of the most toxic rivalries in hip-hop history. Even Benzino eventually admitted, "I can take responsibility for some of the stuff I said about his family. Really personal shots. It was out of order." Still, admitting fault didn't mean he was ready to let it go. By 2018, Benzino was back fueling the fire, clowning Eminem's Revival album, dismissing it as complete trash, and targeting Eminem's massive fan base. He wrote online, "Can somebody tell these weirdo M fans that in this culture of hip-hop, they are the subculture, meaning nobody gives a flying care about anything they have to say when it comes to him." With those words, Benzino made it clear, despite his earlier apologies, he had no intention of letting the feud fully die. Right now, Benzino was telling Eminem his Revival album was trash, demanding he take the L and move on. But in February 2021, he ramped up the antics, publicly challenging Eminem and Royce Da 5'9" to a boxing match. He boasted confidently, "I would step in the ring with any of them. I'm in great shape, I've started training, and I'd love to step in the ring with Royce or Eminem." Eminem's response? Complete silence.
Paul Rosenberg or Rosenthaler. Who's calling? That's Benzino. Hello? Yeah, who's this? Paul. Yeah, Paul's Benzino. How you doing, man? I'm not doing too good. I mean, Steve told me that you want to talk to me, so I'm calling back. Yeah, well, I spoke to... He sounds like a little whiny little bitch that you know what I'm saying, that stays behind security and stays in the studio and blocked away from society, that he can say whatever he wants. You see, I'm not that fucking dude, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that dude, man, about Boston niggas extorting Dave and everything. What type of shit is that? The real extortion is him extorting hip-hop from fucking dumb streets. That's the real extortion here. You knew what he was gonna do. You knew the songs. You know what he said about me. You know these conversations he had with Fat Chuck. You know all this shit. No. You should have these peaceful conversations with him. Listen, the only thing that I knew, that if you can't turn this into a thing against me, you and I don't have a problem. Oh, I don't. This isn't. You're a part. Listen, you manage Elvis. You're a part of him. You're a part of him. You're just as much of a part of him. You run Shady Records. You're a part of him. You're a part of that movement. Don't you think it's out of hand already? Well, you know what? I didn't want it to happen in the first place. I spoke to Dave after I heard about the first record, and I was like, "Dave, what's up? Why, where's this coming from?" And he was like, he's got some things he wanted to get off his chest. And, I'm saying, but I mean, is the call, like, what's the call for? Like, I mean, he's already dropped his record. Like, you guys made your move, so what is really the call for? Oh, I just wanted to see if there's any way that, we can make peace of the situation. I don't want it to get out of hand.
And when that didn't work, Benzino doubled down in February 2022. This time, he tried discrediting Eminem's street credibility, boldly claiming, "No one in my hood ever listened to his music." When a social media user dared him to say that to Eminem's face, Benzino didn't back down. He tagged Eminem directly. He wrote, "I'll say it to his face, he's a scared coward P-word, just like his fan base." From there, it spiraled out of control. Benzino unleashed a series of posts, later deleted, tearing into Eminem's supporters and mocking them as weak. In a move that shocked fans, he even dropped the full address of his restaurant in Atlanta, daring people to confront him. He raged, "All you stans, we all know y'all are the corniest, most non-violent coward fan base hip-hop has ever seen. I got a restaurant in Atlanta, 5071 Peachtree Industrial Boulevard, Chamblee, Georgia. Stop tweeting and pull up on me." But he wasn't finished. In another angry post, he fired, "I've been left this alone, but since coward-ass stans still want to talk and hide, then it's still F Eminem. If you got a problem with me, do something about it. Nothing you've ever said has affected me in any way. I know how to fight, I still got big sticks, so pull up." It was a full-blown meltdown, showcasing Benzino's desperation. Yet, even then, Eminem said nothing, keeping silent while the drama played out. But fast forward to 2024, and Marshall finally delivered the moment Benzino had been begging for. On Doomsday Part 2, Eminem unloaded viciously, taking shots not only at Benzino, but also at his daughter, Coi Leray, making it one of his coldest responses in years.
Posting about it, and I'm like, this nigga really, he really fuck with Zeno, huh? I mean, what you should be doing, Kurt, is explaining to little Bruce Leroy while Sleeves and Diddy and a bunch of niggas was slutting her up. I think you're gonna have to owe him an explanation when he gets older. Don't act like we ain't see you on the beach with your Bugs Bunny T-plate with the camera taking pictures, yeah. You was in your feelings, huh? Nah, Curtis, it's not a good look. But I tell you what, though. The boxing challenge still there, Curtis, for the celebrity. I'm down to make a couple of M's. I'll go 3 rounds with your goofy ass. That's number 1.
That track marked the first time in years Eminem directly addressed Benzino, and he came out swinging on Doomsday Part 2. M spit, "What is the opposite of Benzino? A giraffe, go at his neck. How the hell can I go at something he doesn't have? Savage." He didn't stop there. Eminem went in on Benzino's finances, mocking his downfall, and even threw shade at his sexuality, referencing long-circulated rumors that Zeno was allegedly spotted with a male companion while police escorted him out of a Red Roof Inn. The crowd went wild at how cold the bars were. Then came the most brutal blow. Eminem turned his aim at Benzino's daughter, Coi Leray, with the cutting line. Guess that Coi Leray features in the toilet. It was ruthless, unapologetic, and exactly the kind of sharp-edged writing that made M infamous. The shots were loud, and Benzino wasted no time responding. He fired back with not 1 but 2 diss tracks, Rap Elvis being the most talked about. But even though Benzino threw everything he had into those records, Eminem didn't bite. No statements, no interviews, no follow-up verses, nothing. He said his piece and walked away, leaving Benzino swinging at the air. And ironically, that's what seems to sting the most. Benzino was counting on a full-on war, hoping to drag Eminem into another back and forth that could keep him relevant. Instead, he's left taking shots at 50 Cent online, while Eminem stays cool, detached, and entirely unbothered. So now it's the big question. Does Benzino actually have a point about Eminem being a culture vulture? Or is this just the sound of bitterness from someone who couldn't take him down in 2 decades? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video for more deep dives into hip-hop's biggest feuds. See you in the next one.